thought he may be useful in Will Graham's therapy.
I'm going to give you a chance to save Will from himself.
Who does he want to kill, Doctor?
I want you to kill Hannibal Lecter.
Will Graham is not a murderer. He asked you to do this.
Get at me!
Smoothly and slowly, Jack. Carrying your concentration like a brimming cup.
Hannibal Lecter was almost murdered. By an employee of this hospital. An attendant. Who we believe is the person that killed the bailiff and the judge at your murder trial.
Killed the bailiff. He didn't kill the judge. That was the Chesapeake Ripper.
You know this.
He told me.
Then you told him.
Nothing I said.
You don't seem to be too good.
There's a common emotion, not yet named. The happy anticipation of being able to feel contempt.
You feel contempt for Hannibal.
Well, I have contempt for the Ripper. I have contempt for what he does.
What does he do?
What does he do? What is the first and principal thing he does? What need does he serve by killing? What he does. Why does he need to do it?
A lot of station
Ripper
tech
kills
starts here.
in sound of
Lab equipment.
3 or 4
Special
in
parts
quick
requests.
orders.
Prototypes. We should be able to fix your looking
why?
glass terminal from Dr. Calvino's workshop.
I know why.
And tell me.
Because if he waits too long, then the meat spoils.
He's eating them. Hannibal is like Garrett Jacob Hobbs, a cannibal.
No, not like Garrett Jacob Hobbs. Hobbs ate his victims to honor them. The Ripper eats his victims because they're no better to him than pigs.
With the exception of Beverly Katz, there is no connection between Hannibal and any Ripper victims.
No immediate connection.
Hannibal Lecter is not the Chesapeake Ripper.
If the Ripper's killing, you can bet Hannibal Lecter's planning a dinner party. You and I probably sipped wine while swallowing the people to whom we were trying to give justice.
Remarkably lean organ, now. Yet such a potent symbol of life. The things that make us human. Good, bad, love and hate.
All of them is skewered.
It's a thematic dish. Certainly feels good.
You have the scars to prove it.
The Earth sent out the Friendship Probe Station, but it caused some pretty nasty radiation. Taking hostages is a real blow, so Janeway sent a torpedo. Turns out Voyager was actually their salvation.
Oh, you had to rhyme it all with shun. with Shun.
Yes,
That's hard to do with Shun.
Nasty radiation.
Yeah, got a little full in the very beginning because you had to get all that out to say station. What does this say? Tell me the exact wording right before station.
The Earth sent out a friendship probe station.
That's okay. The
Earth caused some pretty nasty radiation.
Yes, I like it.
Oh, I love a limerick.
Yes, a good limerick it is. Okay, so we were not right about director. We said Terry Wendell came back one more time. It was Mike Vehar, who we love. So
Mike Vehar.
Fine.
He did such a good job of this episode. Really great job.
And writer, we're on the nose on that one. We got Taylor, right? But we didn't get Fuller.
Michael Taylor co-wrote it with Brian Fuller, who, by the way, we may have mentioned this before, but Michael Taylor and Brian Fuller shared an office. So I know they were always talking with each other about stories and scripts. So, really strong writing for this episode between those two office mates. Great job.
Yeah. Wait, you mean they shared the same
room? They had
Seriously?
2 desks. Yeah,
in the same room? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I thought it was an entryway with the foyer and then 2 different people that were their assistants in that area, and they each had a separate room. That's not the case. They were in the same room.
They were in the same room.
So much easier to collaborate when you're in the same room, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay. All right. All right. Let's go through our guest stars right now. Ken Land, who played Varen, the very, very stubborn Varen.
Yes.
His very, very first credit was a 1994 soap opera by the name of Loving. You remember that show? Loving?
I do remember Loving because
maybe
Big
David
cast.
Gilardi /
Big
James Taylor.
cast.
Big cast. But the last 3 were co-stars, of course. I did not.
This was James Taylor definitely had a co-star.
Opening shot. Do you like that CGI of the Friendship 1 probe kind of flying through space?
Yes,
Pretty
and it
darn
looks
good.
like Earth in the background. Like it's an M-class planet that looks really lush and oceans and blue. It was a beautiful shot. Yeah.
Clearly, this planet is pre-radiation. we don't know that at this point. But we do see some aliens in a control center. They're monitoring the probe, entering their atmosphere. And, I like their equipment. It looked very different. It was like,
I wonder
a round view screen thing they had. It was kind of funky.
Probably Loop Group.
Yeah, you think so? Because it kind of sounded like Cosmo Genovese to me.
Really? Maybe. Well, he would read it on stage. He would have read it. Cosmo would have read it. Actually, was Cosmo here the last season?
Oh, are you saying that he left? I
feel like Cosmo.
Oh, because Jan came in. Jan Rudolph came in. Oh my gosh.
So Jan
Cosmo was.
He was retired.
Yeah, I forgot.
So we've got the alien scene, the opening scene. Then we go to opening credits, which again I love every time. I think we have maybe the best opening credits of all Star Trek.
We do.
I'm just gonna say.
I'm gonna go with that too.
I love the beautiful visuals of our opening sequence. So then we go into Astrometrics Lab, actually. Where Janeway's talking on a view screen to an older admiral. This is Hendricks. This is the British actor that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, his first line, I couldn't understand because of his accent. I was like, wait, what? I had to go back a couple of times. Because he said the Voth, the Kabali, the Vaudoir.
Well, the way he said everything was like very stylized. It's like the Vaudoir. He's like, the Vaudoir. I'm like, the Vaudoir. I'm like,
I was like, wait a minute, what is he saying?
What is he saying? Yeah.
But I was very impressed with his fancy pantsness.
He was
very elegant.
And he's one of Janeway's professors from the Academy, right? So there you go.
It was very cool, but because she says a little farther than I expected, Professor. So they have a history.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we cut to from there, we go to the briefing room. He says, we got a mission for you. We go to the briefing room, we have this cool shot.
Yes.
Where it's like a crane shot where the camera starts big and wide in the briefing room.
Yeah.
And as we're listening to this recording of the probe, we, the people of Earth, greet you in the spirit of peace and humility. The camera's pushing in slowly, seeing all of us just listening, and then it eventually comes down on Janeway pushing a button.
To stop the end of the recording.
To stop the end of the recording.
It's a very cool opening shot. We've never shot from above the briefing room table ever before.
No.
Ever. No.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I did make a note in the scene. We're basically talking about this probe that was sent out just 4 years after Zephyr Cochrane tested his first warp engine, that it's packed with all kinds of information, Harry says.
And Starfleet has sent us some search grids for us to check out, right? That jumps us into the bridge. And we start off basically knowing that we have searched. Janeway orders Chakotay to assemble an away team to investigate in the Delta Flyer. So,
well, they look for life signs too. So it's radiation everywhere, high levels of antimatter radiation.
And there's no life signs. No, nothing.
Zero life signs. So they think they've got this probe, but there's nobody there that they think.
On the planet.
Yeah, we go to sick bay. Carrie's there getting inoculations with Tom. And I wrote down Carrie. We haven't seen him in a long time.
We have not seen him in a very long time.
Which always makes me nervous for those actors' characters when they show up out of nowhere on an away mission. It's not going to end well.
But it's not just Lieutenant Carey, it's Neelix too. Chakotay there as well. What's interesting is Harry's not there to get inoculated, but yet he is on the away team later. So it's a little strange. I don't know why.
They must not care as much about Harry.
Clearly not. Torres arrived. Like, they didn't give Harry the memo. He's expendable.
Exactly.
He's a new gold is the new red, right? Torres arrives for her inoculation. Paris is just beside himself. He's like, let's walk out here and talk. He challenges her. He challenges her decision to be part of this away team because she's pregnant. It's radiation filled down there. And she finally relents and agrees with her hubby or her man, Tom, in the end. My nomination for best line of the episode is "My money's on B'Elanna" from Chakotay.
My winner best line is when Tora's outside when she's talking with Paris.
Yes.
He says, "Okay, fine, you win. But if we have another baby, you carry it, and I'll go on the away missions."
Fine.
And
That's
Paris
a good
goes,
one.
"It's a deal."
It's a deal.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if Tom won here. He's gonna have to carry that baby next time. I don't know if that's winning, or We'll see.
That's funny. Moving on to the Delta Flyer interior, we have the away team of Neelix, Carey, Chakotay, and my autocorrect changed it to Charkitay, but clearly that's not his name. Tom and Harry are also on this away team. It's a very bumpy ride down there.
Very bumpy, yes.
Neelix is a little queasy. And the music, I don't know if you noticed this, but the music really had a little bit of an homage to Star Wars in a way. It sounded like, it sounded a lot like some Star Wars background type of orchestral music.
I did notice the music in this episode. I've noticed it the last few episodes actually, that there's been a kind of a tonal shift to a little more like superhero adventure sounds.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. As they get closer, they see evidence of a civilization that used to be there, but it's in ruins now. Harry says that the radiation levels are at 6,000 isorems, so nothing would be alive down there. There's no way. So Chakotay says, "Hey, Tom, set the flyer down. Let's get down there." So we do have a planet surface, a CGI shot of the Delta Flyer actually landing. Paris brings a nice little curve in there. Did you like that shot? Are you okay with that one?
I liked it. When the flyer approaches to land,
yes,
they sort of cut away, and there's a lot of snow. So it's snowing.
Yeah.
There's I guess it's a snowstorm.
Yes.
And I did notice that when the flyer lands, snow doesn't kick up off the ground. Like when a helicopter lands, it kicks up dirt and stuff like that.
It didn't do that in this one.
I did make a note here. I was like, organic material like that in CG back in the 90s, back when we did this, that's really tricky now with that technology.
Okay.
Really good looking organic, whether it's water, mud, snow.
Yes.
So back then they just kind of skipped it.
They sure did.
They were like, it's not going to kick up any dust because that's going to be expensive. So they just cut away. But it's the approach was cool. It kind of did a little slide in.
Not bad. As we're seeing the Delta Flyer landing, in the process of landing, we also kind of jump over to a shot of a close-up of a hooded figure that's watching.
Speaking of Star Wars, to me, this
felt that was a very Star Wars-like character.
Yes. Those hazmat suits felt very Star Warsy, like Sith or something.
Yeah, Sith, and also kind of elements of Dune as well. I felt so. Other sci-fi shows kind of play there. As we see the close-up of the hooded figure watching, then now we see his POV through, I'm guessing, his visor, his binoculars, alien tech, whatever it is. So we see a little bit of readout information on the Delta Flyer as it lands, and then finally back to a close up of this alien watching, and out to commercial after that. Planet surface.
Attitude adjustment required.
You're not gonna like what I have to say next. You have to destroy Talos 1. The research, the Typhon, nothing can survive. Including you. I know how it sounds, but you've seen what those creatures can do. They're a part of you now. If even one cell gets back to Earth, we're lost. I'm sorry. I wish there was another way. January can walk you through activating the self-destruct mechanism. Alex will try to stop you. He's allergic to failure. Too proud to go back to Mom and Dad with his tail between his legs. So it's up to you now. Good luck. Told you wouldn't like it.
Hello, Morgan. I'm January 2035. I'm an operator. There are many operators aboard Talos 1, but none of them are like me. Over here. I'm your plan B. My first task was to free you from the simulation. The second task was to make sure you saw your video. Those are done. Interesting. New directives are now available to me. The self-destruct protocol for Talos 1 is activated by 2 arming keys. Your brother has the first. You had the second. Alex destroyed your arming key, but you hit a fabrication plan for a new one in deep storage. That's where you need to go next. We can worry about getting Alex's key afterwards. The Typhon are spreading fast, Morgan. You'll be racing against them. And your brother. This key card will grant you access to the main lift and all the labs. The main lift is the fastest way to reach deep storage. Next topic. You asked me to provide you with more neuromods, which I've done. Good luck, Morgan. I have more autonomy than a typical operator. The contents of the video are sensitive. Only a flesh and blood person could handle the responsibility, I presume. You instructed me to sabotage the test procedures if Alex ever failed to release you, or if the Typhon organisms escaped containment. Both happened. I have your voice. It's a tactic to ease your natural suspicion. I'm sure you realize this. I mention it so that you'll know I'm earnest. Every neuromod takes a snapshot of your brain and models what it would look like if you learned something new. Then it makes those changes. Billions of connections remapped in a matter of minutes. All made possible by our friends from outer space. Simmons installed blank neuromods on you. That's why you could remember the previous day's test and escape.
Suit integrity damaged. Scanning target. No Typhon material detected.
Love
Planet
Mike
surface.
Vehar. The first shot. Your
the
boot.
Foot,
Oh,
yes,
that
stepping
was
into
great.
the ice and
Great.
yes,
Great shot.
crunching through that.
Great shot.
It was really good.
Yeah, nice little reveal that this boot belongs to Tom Paris. Conversation between Paris and everyone's in an EV suit at this point, of course.
Yep.
Tom and Joe, isn't that funny? Tom and Joe have a conversation about fatherhood, husband and wife interactions. But again, I know what's happening. It's making you feel for Carrie right now. You're like, oh, Carrie's a good guy. He had to deal with the same stuff with his wife that Tom's dealing with his wife. So you're getting these feelings of like, gosh, darn it, we love Carrie. And
control system.
Neelix is following. While
And then
this is happening.
Tom sees something on the ground. He goes to pick it up. Neelix says, "Be careful."
Yeah.
And Tom picks it up. And
why are you pushing? Why are you pushing random buttons, Tom?
What
What
could be a
you are the
bomb.
boldest. Exact. It looks like a grenade. Like it doesn't look like a toy. And you
this
are
reminded
so
me-
bold.
This reminded me of when I was an actual kid.
Psychotronics
in real. And my mother would always
where the
we'd go to the
Titan
store
broke
and she'd be like, just don't touch anything. Just keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch. And I would touch things and I would break them, kind of like the props on this show.
Yes.
They stopped giving me props because I would always break them. And my mother used to always say that, like, don't touch everything. You don't have to touch it. So I guess Tom is just a little like me.
Did
He
you
just
have
had to
flashbacks?
touch.
Did you have flashbacks to your childhood when you watched this scene? I knew you did. There you go. And of course, he touches the button on what looks to me like a grenade.
Like a grenade.
It looks like it's some type
I'm
of
with
bomb.
you.
Yeah. And even Neelix tries to stop you. But in this episode, clearly it's an alien music box / toy. Playing Vivaldi of all things. So now we're thinking, okay. So maybe the probe did have some influence on these people, on this race of aliens here. Carrie detects something on his tricorder and it's off. We go to another direction for the trio. We now cut to Chakotay and Kim, also in EV suits, also exploring another part of this planet. Harry detects an antimatter signature ahead, and now we have a cool shot of sort of Chakotay and Harry coming in to what looks like an entire football field of missile silos, is what it looks like.
Yes, these
right?
giant bunkers with circle doors on the top. Do you remember where you shot this scene?
16, I'm pretty sure. Because if
was
not
it near
16,
the cave set?
Yeah, it was near
it
the
must
cave
have been right on the edge of that big cave set.
Yeah, because they only built one silo, right? And all the other ones are CGI. So that one silo that we step on a little bit later, so and if it wasn't there, it had to have been there. They couldn't have. Could they have squeezed that on the side of stage 9? Maybe?
No, I think it had to have been there.
Yeah. Anyway,
it was very cool though.
Cool shot though. I like it. Yeah. Paris hails Chakotay that they think the probe is in a cave. Chakotay says, just keep me posted. And then we cut back to Chakotay and Harry walking onto one of the missile silos. Super cool. And then we got that shot where we can see in basically because we've got flashlights and we actually see the warhead that's still active in there. It's kind of crazy with alien symbols.
My code name is December. My purpose is to help you escape Talos 1. I know your memory's shot full of holes. But you left instructions that the Typhon should break containment. Alex has a private escape pod. You made a copy of his launch key and hid it in the Neuromod division, along with a supply cache. I'll transmit the location to your map. I'll contact you again when you've got the key.
Mio, this is Dr. Calvino.
What's up?
I'm feeling ill, not myself today. I think I won't be in for my shift at all.
Okay. Do you still want me to finish this array? I fabricated a ton of glass.
Array? I don't recall.
You asked me to set up a new array.
You must have misunderstood. Are you... Honestly, I prefer if you left my experiments alone in my absence.
Well, look, I have a message you left me.
Seriously.
I would not have made all of this if you had...
No. Oh, of course. I remember now. Let's just, for the time being, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
Let's talk about it tomorrow.
Previously on Hannibal.
Where were you last night?
I was with Hannibal all night, Jack.
My name is Miriam Lass. I'm with the FBI.
The Chesapeake Ripper recorded Miriam Lass 2 years ago.
I was so wrong.
You said yourself there's no body.
Miriam Lass is dead.
The donut bark.
There's a small stand in Virginia.
Psychotronics is the opposite of safe, Morgan. What are you after? Someone's helping you. Is it Michaela? Elizar? I can eavesdrop on your
I don't want to die like this.
Psychotronics is the opposite of safe, Morgan. What are you after? Someone's helping you. Is it Michaela? Elizar? I can eavesdrop on your brother's messages. We're in agreement on this one. Get through this place fast as possible. You're looking for a maintenance airlock to a utility tunnel called the Gut.
Never stop.
It'll take you all the way to the top of the station.
Can I see him?
We haven't caught the Ripper.
He's still.
We need your help. You know who he is.
I don't know who he is. I don't remember finding him.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
Got inside my head. Remember about drowning. And then being awake. And not awake. Myself, not myself. I'd wake up to the smell of fresh flowers and the sting of a needle. I wasn't afraid.
Psychotronics is the opposite of safe, Morgan.
You're in pain.
What are you after?
Far away.
Someone's helping you. Is it Michaela? Elizar?
Reckless with your life.
My life.
I can eavesdrop on your brother's
saw what I
messages.
did in you.
We're in agreement on this one.
I
Get
let
through
you
this
break the
place
rules on my
fast as
behalf while
possible.
I hid behind it.
You're looking for a maintenance
Agent Crawford,
airlock to a
please
utility
do not
tunnel called the
apologize to
Gut.
me for my mistakes.
It'll take you all the way to the top of the station.
You did me very well. Until the end, until he put me in the ground. He took my arm. He told me what he was going to do. I went to sleep, woke up, it was gone. He won't give it to you.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
We're in agreement on this one. Get through this place fast as possible. You're looking for a maintenance airlock to a utility tunnel called the Gut. It'll take you all the way to the top of the station.
Vital signs critical.
Can I just say this? My flashback when I watched you reacting was, as a kid, getting punished and pretending it's first, pretending to spank the person. So I felt like you were doing the exact same thing to the alien. Don't hit me on that hard. Don't hit me on the really hard protective part. Ow.
The theater.
I
Ripper kills
Baron
someone
is the
with
one
fear.
that kind of comes to see. This is what
reveals
boring.
himself, yeah.
But his line is, "Leave them alone." So you immediately think, okay, this guy's taking sympathy for Carrie, for
The Ripper's
Tom,
not
for everyone else
self-destructive. He doesn't want to get
that's
caught.
being beat down. So, and that's the mind mess. That's what messes with your mind in this episode, because you start thinking this guy's a character, and then
All this evidence.
I mean, it's funny, and I'm gonna just editorialize. I like this
His
story.
last has already
I
done
love the direction.
Yeah.
2 years.
I do feel like, as a
It's a long time
broad
to have
statement,
Hannibal in your head.
that the guest cast
Can't trust her, Jack.
is just a little milquetoast, just
Can't
a
trust
little
any
in
of
the
this to be
middle.
what it
Like
seems.
when
Okay.
you start talking about Varen, it seems like a good guy, but then he's a bad guy. Like, I think we needed much stronger
choices,
differentiated personalities. Like Varen needs to be.
The Psychoscope was a breakthrough. Apart from neuromods, it's the most important tech on Talos 1. Use it to scan the Typhon organisms if you want to learn what makes them tick. You invented it, by the way.
So, this Varen was here. You feel, and I agree with you, that the Varen, whoever played Varen, could have been.
Spoiler alert, sorry people, but he kills one of our people in cold blood.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a good person.
No.
He's needs a good guy, but then he's a bad guy. Like, I think we needed much stronger
choices,
differentiated personalities of, like, Varen needs to be the scary, badass, like, he needs to be from the jump, he needs to be tough and scary and intense. And I just didn't, I was
so
like,
this Varen was here. You feel, and I agree with you, that the Varen, whoever
Psychoscope
played
was a
Varen, could
breakthrough.
have been.
Apart from neuromods, it's the
he
most
ends up
important
being a
tech on Talos
murderer.
1.
He kills,
Use it to scan the Typhon
spoiler
organisms
alert,
if
sorry
you want to
people,
learn
but
what makes them
he
tick.
kills one of our
You invented
people
it, by the way.
in cold blood.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a good person.
No.
He's a desperate, you know,
But
vengeful,
somehow,
angry.
Yeah, but taking the
know.
middle of the road sort of tactic also works in that you did not expect him to kill Carrie. You see what I'm saying? It was sort of like, he's kind of milquetoast. He's not really going to do anything.
I
and
felt
then
like they all sort of blended, even the pregnant alien lady and the ship. Like, they were all sort of low and
let's have more layers. Let's have more layers for these aliens, right? Let's not keep them one
they
note.
all felt like they were sort of playing the same kind of character.
Right.
And so I didn't know. Yeah. And a lot of times it was very low energy and soft. And anyway, that's my biggest complaint in this episode. I think the performances should have been as much variety as I think the story had written into it, because it's got a lot of potential in it, but I feel like it was a little unrealistic.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that opinion.
That's
Let
my
us.
little cycle.
Yeah. But after the beatdown, Varen realizes that we're there to collect your power probe, which is basically the beginning of the end of their civilization. So they're very upset that it's now. What? Not only are they upset, they're somewhat kind of happy, I think, because he realizes, oh, now the perpetrators are not going to be good. Now we can hold them accountable. So there's a little bit of that going on.
And Tom is very confused.
Yeah, he has no clue.
And by the way, I do want another quick side note. In our intro, you probably remember.
Vital signs critical.
Because I had a
You're
lot.
in a lot of it, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a Tom Paris story.
No, but you're in. Your screen time is.
Yeah.
It's up there, big time.
And once I
big time.
Once I watched this, there are things that come back to me.
Yeah.
Like in the,
This is
the baby thing, the delivery.
This is a
thing.
great Tom character development episode. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I think the last couple episodes have been huge.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you are the stand-up guy in this one. That is for sure.
Okay, so the next scene, we're in a hallway. Chakotay and Janeway are walking. Did you notice in the scene they're talking about the aliens and the antimatter weapons?
Yeah.
And Kate says antimatter, and Chakotay says antimatter, and they both say it differently. And I'm like, is it antimatter, antimatter?
Antimatter, antimatter, antimatter.
Yeah, it's like I feel like they said antimatter
I'm sorry.
in the one scene.
I did not nitpick this scene as much as you did. My goodness, you noticed the way they pronounced antimatter. Okay, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I don't know why, because they said it. She says whoever they are, they have antimatter. She goes, antimatter. It's like, I just said antimatter. You just said it. They have antimatter weapons.
Right.
Antimatter.
I gotta go back and watch that again. Dadgummit. All right, they get hailed by Tuvok, who's on the bridge, and Tuvok says, "Hey, we're being hailed from the surface." Janeway thinks it's the away team. Tuvok says no. So then we cut to the bridge, and this is Janeway basically talking with Varen, and it's audio though. There's no video. I think it's just audio at this point, and he's talking about how his name is Varen, and the crewmen are everyone else is his prisoner. That the away team basically is.
Yeah, he's got hostages, and it's just audio at this point. I did find it interesting because when we were down on the planet, it was a lot of handheld in the cave set. When Varen is walking around, I wasn't really clear what he was talking into since there's no
that's right.
But I did like as if he was on speaker. He's kind of walking around, talking to Janeway.
That's my business. Him turning to someone, hey, hit speakerphone now, like that. I do it for him. But, basically, he accuses all of us for committing genocide, which is a huge accusation to have. Janeway's just confused. She doesn't know what's happening. But he keeps explaining that we are going to pay for what happened to his people. And again, she's clueless. And so she says, what do you want?
What do you want me to do? And he says, I want you to get us, all of us, off this planet. Find us a new home that's not radiation safe.
Right.
And Janeway says, okay, well, let my crewman go and we'll talk about it. And he says, no, we're not talking.
Yeah.
Your people are not safe until my
Right.
And basically threatening, it's a hostage situation. And he
It
says,
is.
you've got 3 hours. The clock starts now.
Right.
And that's our act. Okay, so we come back from the commercial break. We see Janeway and Tuvok talking. She wants to scan for the nearest in-class planet. He said, you need to, rescue us and get us someplace safe. So she's going to start. And Tuvok's like, you're going to meet his demands? You're going to let him blackmail you? And she says, I'm just keeping my options open. Calls Chakotay, you're with me. We cut to sickbay. Now we see that this alien who was the burglar on the flyer that Chakotay stunned.
He's under the clamshell bed right now. He's unconscious, I think. Yeah.
And the doctor says he looked at his garment. It's magnesite, which is kind of like an environmental suit, but it doesn't offer full protection. The doctor says his skin, his body is saturated with this radiation. That's why no one can detect it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's almost like his tissues are indistinguishable from the.
You've already figured out how to use a psychoscope.
That's right.
That's great.
All right,
That's
Morgan,
horrible.
I know I can't make you stay
Just
put,
so deep
but
into
you're
this.
gonna die
Can't
if
even
you
tell.
don't listen to me.
It's pretty bad.
I'm sending you the code to a safe and
Janeway
direct
wants
intelligence
to wake him
office.
up,
I've sent
and
these
the
in
doctor
your
does
wisdom.
wake him up with the
Use them to install
hypospray.
limited
And now
hyphen
what
abilities.
ensues is just this conversation
That's
of
what
just
this
pretty
is
much,
all about,
this is
Morgan.
what you did to our people. I
You
do not
spent
believe that you're
3
trying to help
years
us.
of
I do
your
not
life
believe that you're
making
trying
it possible.
to be nice to us. I
Learn
believe
what
that
they
you're
can
here to
do,
harm us.
and to
And
us.
his whole theory is
You've just forgotten.
that we sent the probe there to give them technology, to cause themselves to obliterate their own, to basically pollute their own planet, right? To mess everything up, so that we come in to conquer them. And then Janeway makes a very, very, very key statement, which is, why would we contaminate a planet that we're trying to conquer? That makes no sense. Absolutely not. And he's still like, no, I don't believe this is that you guys are on the up and up. I think this is.
But can you blame him a bit?
No,
Like,
he can't.
can
Because,
you-
but he's not. Guess what he does?
At this point.
No,
Yeah.
he's spouting Varen, right? Like he's just Varen is their leader. So everything coming out of Hotrin's mouth is basically Varen, from what I hear. But Janeway's very calm. Janeway's just saying, like, look, you know, this probe was sent 300 years ago. Like, we weren't even alive when this probe was sent. Everything that he has to say, she has something to sort of balance that out and sort of show him the other side of the coin. Right?
No, it's a nice beginning to changing.
If you scan enough Typhon organisms, you'll be able to install neuromods that are powerful.
Right.
But they're the reason we're in this mess.
Jump in the cave.
For one thing,
now
the station's
Paris
defensive
and
turrets
Neelix
will identify you
and
as an
Carrie,
alien threat.
don't have
There might be
environmental
worse
suits
consequences
anymore.
I can't
They're
yet
just
see.
uniforms.
What
Carrie's
is
out.
that? Is that what you wear under the environmental suit? Because I never got that ever. I've never worn that. So I guess that's what you had underneath, clearly.
I guess so, yeah. But Paris says, I think I need my med kit. He's really hurt. And Bryn, we begin to meet Bryn. She says, I can't give you your stuff, but she hands him a metal bowl and some cloth. And Paris starts cleaning this cut on his head. And I noticed as I was watching this scene where Paris is talking to this woman, that I was wiping on either side of the makeup cut. Because
when you touch it, you're going to mess it up.
You're going to mess up the makeup. So if it were a real cut, I would be like, you know, dabbing it and really cleaning it. But a makeup cut, you have to sort of pretend like you're touching it. Yeah. So for the next take, it's not good. So all I could do was watch my fake cleaning without touching the actual cut.
Okay, there's a joke among Star Wars fans that stormtroopers are so bad at aiming they can never hit their target.
Yeah.
You as a medic are so bad at aiming and dabbing, you can't even find the wound. But we now know why. It's because if you touched it, makeup would be on your butt about messing up the actual wound. It's so funny. Okay.
But Paris and Bryn start talking. They talk about, he says, when's your baby due? She's obviously pregnant. He says, B'Elanna's pregnant too. We're expecting a girl. She's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
And he makes a joke about she has my eyes and her mother's cranial ridges.
Yeah.
And then he asks, is this your first baby? And she goes, no. And he goes, oh, boys, girls. He says, 2 boys and a girl. And Paris says, what's their names? And she goes, they were all still.
Very sad. You were, and I could see your reaction was genuine because you at that point already had kids and you understand what it is.
Yeah.
If one of your kids was stillborn, you would be devastated. So you did a very effective look. You
It was
didn't
a
phone that
sad-
one in.
yeah.
It was a sad look, and it was an empathetic look as well. So good job.
I do
If you scan
remember
enough Typhon
shooting
organisms,
this scene.
you'll be able to install
And my
mods that are
memory is that
powerful,
this actress,
but they're the
Haeley,
reason we're in this mess.
Yeah, Barry
For one
Hockwell
thing,
played Bryn, yeah.
the station's
Barry
defensive
Hockwell.
turrets will identify you
I
as an
remember
alien threat.
she felt
There
a
might
bit
be worse
mad
consequences I can't yet see.
And as I
don't want
watched
you to
the
lose
scene,
yourself.
Meaning, and what I mean by that is that she was always a bit.
Even when the camera wasn't rolling.
Even when the camera wasn't rolling, I felt a bit like I couldn't quite, just have an easygoing conversation with this guest actor.
Yeah. I
He
hear
was
you,
a bit
man.
method. He was always a bit distant. I don't know. That memory sort of came back as I watched this. Because as soon as I saw this scene, I'm like, oh yeah, there was a whole story. It started coming back to me.
Yeah.
And I don't remember feeling like I ever connected with her when we were shooting it. I did remember Lieutenant Carey. Josh knew that he was gonna, he'd read the script, he knows he's gonna die, and he was not happy. We leave
You had kids and you understand what it is.
Yeah.
If one of your kids was stillborn, you would be devastated. So you did a very effective look. You
It was
didn't
a
phone that
sad-
one in. It was a sad
yeah.
look, and it was an empathetic look as well. So good job.
I do remember shooting this scene.
Okay.
And my memory is that this actress, Barry, I think was her name.
Yeah, Barry Hockwald, who played Bryn, yeah.
Barry Hockwald. I remember she felt a bit method actressy to me.
Dr. Yu.
Oh.
And as I watched the scene, meaning, and what I mean by that is that she was always a bit standoffish with me and a little in character and a little like
Even when the camera
suspicious.
wasn't rolling.
Even when
right?
the camera wasn't
Yeah.
rolling, I felt a bit like I couldn't quite, just have an easygoing conversation with this guest actor.
Yeah. I
He
hear
was
you,
a
man.
bit method. It was always a bit distant. I don't know. That memory sort of came back as I watched this. Because as soon as I saw this scene, I'm like, oh yeah, there was a whole story. It started coming back to me.
Yeah.
And I remember I don't remember feeling like I ever connected with her. I did remember Lieutenant Carey. Josh knew that he was gonna, he'd read the script, he knows he's gonna die, and he was not happy. We leave the cave scene and all of my memories of that. We go to the Astrometrics lab, and there's Tuvok, Torres, Janeway, Harry's there.
Yeah.
They're talking about how long it would take all of these people
to the nearest M-class planet, which would really, it's okay. Let's talk about this. It's
5,500.
Right. There's 5,500 people, but it's 132 light years away. Round trip, according to Torres, is 2 months. So now to shuttle all 5,500 people, the extrapolated time frame is now 3 years that we have to tack onto our journey back to the Alpha Quadrant. We have to first ferry these people for 3 years. So Janeway's like, no, I mean, I can't believe, no, that's crazy. Tuvok's like, well, we can use force. And Janeway's like, not until we've exhausted every other option. Yeah.
And B'Elanna, by the way, she does say, hey, what about Tom?
What about
and the
Tom?
others?
Yeah, what are they going to do this whole time in 3 years while we're
She doesn't say, what about Tom? She goes, what about Tom and the others? And I was like, or just Tom, maybe? What about B'Elanna? Do you just say, what about Tom? And stop there? I mean,
the fact that she listed your name and no one else's means you're the special.
Okay.
So you're
I was just like, why not just leave it at Tom? Just Tom?
Yeah.
How's
What
Tom?
about Tom? Yeah. What about my
that
husband?
would have been a little more emotional rather than Tom and the others. All my other favorite people.
Oh my gosh. We're now in sick bay.
We're in sick bay.
7 of 9
enters.
walks in. Yes. Otra
I got to say
notices
about her walking in.
Okay,
If you freeze frame this, when the door opens, she's just standing there in the hall.
No.
And you know what the rule was. We always were supposed to be on the move as the door opens.
No.
So when you see the doctor's doing a little business, he moves back to a table to type something in, and then the door opens. She's literally just standing there. And then starts to move. So I was like, Jerry, you're supposed to take a couple steps back and be moving.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to go other side of the coin. I'm going to say, you do remember there were times that certain scenes would take after take after take because something wasn't right in terms of how the camera's going to land and bringing that first actor in or whatever. So maybe this was take 8 and it was just like, oh, let's get it over already. Maybe, I'm just feeling how could she not know that? Or how could the director not have seen that? And maybe it was the correct way. She walked around the corner and it opened right where she got up to the door. And then this was maybe a later take that
they just happened to pick a take where she was definitely just standing still,
there,
door open, and then she walked in.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she walks in. Otra notices her, and 7 is there because the first thing we hear her saying is, I've extracted the nanoprobes, and the doctor says, I'll begin reprogramming them. Now, this catches Otrin's attention, so he's like, nanoprobes? So she's like, yeah, these are small machines. They're going to help us repair your tissue, this damaged tissue of yours. And he's like, wait, extracted from where? She's like, oh, my bloodstream. So now he's even more like, what? Like, is everyone like this on your ship? Like, now he's thinking like this is a ship full of people that have microscopic machines in their bloodstream. But she says, no, just me. I'm the only one that has this. And this is still something that's shocking to him, that anything can repair his skin, though, right? So he's like...
But then, just as he's getting excited about that, Janeway walks in, and she's on a mission. She is.
You've
told me you've been looking for ways to neutralize this radiation. He goes, yes, all my life. She goes, tell me about your work.
She comes in kind of mad, though. It was interesting. It was like a little... She's got some attitude right here. And Carrie's not dead
I feel
yet,
like she's on a mission. Yeah, I think she's like the clock is ticking, and she's fishing. But she's trying to find out something that will give her a way in.
Right.
That we don't have to take 3 years of shuttling people.
Right.
Back and forth.
And so she comes to ask Otrin because he's the scientist and she wants to know about his work, right? So that's pretty much it.
We go inside the cave. Lieutenant Carey wakes up.
Oh no! This is it. Yeah, he's got a stomach ache because the inoculations are wearing off. Neelix talks about the caves are naturally shielded, but environmental suit is the way to go, and they don't have them on. And that's when Yun comes in, right?
Yeah, little girl peeks around the rock, and she says hello. And Tom's delivery of hello was so high. I was like,
it was the highest
I've ever. Hello.
Yeah,
It was
you were
super
Mickey Mousing it right there. I was very impressed with your octave that you were able to hit. I was like, my goodness.
Yes, but I do start talking to the little girl.
Yeah.
Trying to make her comfortable. And then Paris gets the idea to give her the little music box thing and ask Neelix, where's the thing?
I wrote down, Paris is a very demanding hostage. You're like, excuse me, we'd like to give her something.
Yeah. Give me the bag over there.
That bag right there. Yeah.
He could be asking for a weapon.
I know. That's what's
well, Baron says that. He goes, that could be a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to give her the music box, and yeah, Baron says, these guys are dangerous.
Yeah. Well, he snatches it away from her. She does play with it for a second, and then Baron's running over like, this could be a weapon! So he flips out, right? Bryn is like, look, it's harmless. So now you see a little bit of dissenting opinion from Baron, a little bit from Bryn. The seeds of rebellion.
I do remember this scene with the little girl. She was really young.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do remember, because she had to get all her makeup on, that took out the time, and then she had to get it off, and she only had a short day. I do remember this scene being a bit of a crunch scene. Like, oh, we got to go fast because the kid's on a clock. There's limited hours that you can film with very young children.
I think this actress was born in 1990, so we're filming this in
10 years old?
Yeah, 10 years old.
Yeah, she was pretty young. But, Varen still doesn't trust them.
Well, that's when Neelix jumps up and he's like, look, let me go talk to him. And Neelix, Paris is like, what? Why? Because I'm the ambassador, Voyager's ambassador, remember? And I think Neelix did a really good job trying to convince him. I mean, he really laid it out. And he also sort of brought in his own experience about Talax and how his family was all killed by the Metreon Cascade. Hundreds of thousands of people. But, Varen's so bitter and so he's so myopic. He only sees one thing. He can't see it. And he says, I'm sorry. And I did like that actor's delivery of that line. He doesn't see it. But then he goes, but don't. That's his final line. Dismisses.
Nice try, Neelix. Neelix did a really good job. We go to the bridge next. Janeway is talking to Baron now, trying to propose this alternative. Maybe away from interactive radiation. But Baron's like, Otrin told you this. Otrin has too many ideas. He doesn't think that Otrin's a very smart guy.
Or maybe he's too smart for him, right? One of the two. So.
But Varen, she's trying to.
Time itself had bent its knee, waiting for you to decide. You moved my chair without touching it. Gave me chills. The possibilities. You became something. Knew that day, something higher. I knew then, as I believe now. Our mission is to lift up all humanity in the same way.
Specimens required.
In light of what we now know the Typhon are capable of, and not capable of, it seems prudent to revisit the Project Cobalt material.
Igor, neuromods can already adapt Typhon material to the human mind. There's no reason in principle the reverse wouldn't work.
Hello, Doctor. Say you managed to insert human neurons into a Typhon. How will you know it was successful?
The new neural structures would need to mature over a series of actual experiences.
Or simulated ones. What? Simulate the experiences. Calvino. He has...
Right, okay, look, it's fascinating, but let's focus on what we know is working. I don't want anyone devoting resources to this.
Scan complete. Requesting new operator.
Hello, are you here for an appointment? Diagnosing. Looks like you've had a rough day. This won't take long. Good as new. Please fill out a patient experience questionnaire so I can serve you better next time.
Research complete.
My mistake.
Hello, Dr. Yu. Scanning. Neuroimaging shows your mental resources are below.
Everything happening on Talos 1 started here. You were so driven in the beginning. My mistake was agreeing to put you at the center of the tests. That's when you began to drift away from me. We're close to understanding what they're after. What they're building. Just need a little more time.
I was afraid of this. The scientists here were in the middle of something when they died. Access to the gut is closed off during experiments. Security protocol. You'll have to finish what they started. Back in the 60s and 70s. The first research teams tried to communicate with the Typhon, but this proved impossible. Their cerebral structures are highly developed and intentional, but somehow unapproachable. They have no speech of their own, no language. They don't seem to even see it. Not like we see ourselves, I mean. I'm generalizing when I say us. Of course, I'm not a person. Not like you.
Watch out. Operator approach. Moving.
Scanning, tracking, Typhon material inconclusive. Logging calibration request. Debug build version 0.7.6. Verbose on.
Coming through. Inspecting. Your suit integrity is compromised. Success. Job done. Operator approach.
Warning, examination theater compromised.
More specimens required.
Warning, examination theater compromised. Warning, examination theater compromised. Warning, examination theater compromised.
People are quick to project human features onto things they don't understand. The Typhon kill us without hesitation. But it's not because they're evil. It's because they can't do otherwise. You know what we discovered? They lack mirror neurons. For all their wonderful abilities, there's one thing we can do that they can't. Empathize with the suffering of another living creature.
Eradicator auto turrets. TranStar's last-ditch defense against an outbreak. Flimsy. But they're easy to fabricate. Best part is the built-in psychoscope tech. They can discriminate between alien and human targets. Shouldn't be a problem for you, since you're not an alien.
Mio, this is Dr. Calvino. Well, I suppose you've turned in, or you're ignoring me. I just want to... Well, I will be a little late for my shift tomorrow, but the first thing in the morning, I want you to put together this array. You see, the old one it's garbage, and it's what you need from the machine shop. And if Clive is being an ass, just take it from the supply closet when he's not looking. We're not supposed to know the code, but, I'm sending it to you anyway.
What, you need guns? Ammo? I saw one of them science types go into that armory. Saw him punching the code. You get me out of here. I'll let you have it. My name's Aaron. Aaron Ingram. Now that's what I'm talking about. Some human decency, friend. You're the one person that showed me any real kindness, and you can believe I won't forget it. If you still want that code, it's 8714.
Paradigm submitted.
Dr. Yu. Scanning. Neuroimaging shows your mental resources are plummeting. This should help. You should... Hello. Hello, Dr. Yu. Hello, Dr. Yu. You probably didn't.
Vital signs critical. Scanning target Typhon material inconclusive. Logging calibration request.
Coming through.
Hello?
Hey, it's Langley. Are you, is there anything weird going on over there?
No, like what?
I don't want you to panic.
What is going on, Langley?
Not sure yet. Security's running all over the place. So, everyone's still working there?
I guess. I don't know. I've been in the lab all day. Hang on. I'm looking now. I don't...
What was that?
Oh my god, I think we just lost 2 labs.
What?
I have to go.
I can hear the Weaver through the walls. Son of a bitch is gloating, I know it. How are you holding up?
I dropped a couple of nightlights to lure the phantoms away.
Put sticky notes on every goddamn thing I'm sure isn't a mimic. You?
Good. Safe inside the armory. Squashed a mimic that slipped in, but that's it. I got everything sealed tight.
What's our plan?
Wait for rescue?
You know, if we make it, Alex is just going to pull our mods.
You want to remember this shit?
I think we could get out through the guts. Work our way up to the Arboretum.
Okay. Say the word.
Morgan, where are you going? You won't be able to use Alex's escape pod without... Wait, who are you? Please identify. Morgan. This is January. That operator was an earlier, defective model. Or something worse. Alex, the Typhon, they're all working against you. Trust yourself. Trust the video you made. We need to get the arming keys and destroy Talos 1 before it's too late.
Microgravity detected.
These tunnels run the entire length of the station. Mostly conduit carrying the bare necessities. Power, water, air. But operators also use it to deliver supplies from the cargo bay up to the Arboretum. Given the small number of crew assigned here, I would expect Typhon presence to be minimal as well. But that's probably a bad assumption.
Search complete. Specimens required. Research complete. signs critical.
Steady. That pulse hit your suit systems pretty hard. It came from the substation ahead. There's a magnetosphere around Talos 1 that keeps the sun from cooking your insides. Hopefully the generator isn't dying. For your sake. I'll be fine.
Normal gravity detected. Requesting new operator. TranStar Pyramid 490.
Diagnosing, you're suffering from radiation poisoning. I advise immediate medical intervention. Try to relax. There. All better. You can fill out a service questionnaire at the front desk.
Because the world is full of idiots that don't understand what's important, and they'll tear us apart, Morty. But if you stick with me, I'm gonna accomplish great things, Morty, and you're gonna be part of them. And together we're gonna run around, Morty. We're gonna do all kinds of wonderful things, Morty. Just you and me, Morty. The outside world is our enemy, Morty. We're the only friends we've got, Morty. It's just Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty and their adventures, Morty. Rick and Morty forever and forever, 100 years. Rick and Morty super things. Me and Rick and Morty run around. Rick and Morty all day long, forever.
Plasma shockwave imminent.
Rick and Morty forever, 100 times. Over and over, Rick and Morty adventures.com.
Warning, seek shelter. Plasma shockwave in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Microgravity detected.
Whoa, that was a big one. I hate it when that happens. Hey, Will, is that you?
Plasma shockwave imminent.
No,
Warning.
Not me,
Seek
Bill.
shelter.
There's only one of me in
Plasma
all the world.
shockwave in.
I am one in a
5,
trillion.
4, 3,
Where are you going? I'm
2,
leaving! I want to
1.
be free, Bill! There's no such thing as free will! Come on, less thinking, more swarming. I'm sick of swarming. We've been swarming all our lives. Sometimes, Will, it's like you've got a mind of your own. Tell me, Bill, what lies beyond the swarm? More swarm. And then, some more swarm. And then, Will, there's nothing but swarm. We are a swarm without end. Everything's got an end. See? I am here. That is not a happy ending. It stands to reason, Bill.
Microgravity detected.
Warning. Plasma shockwave imminent. Warning. Seek shelter. Plasma shockwave in. 5, 4, 3, 2, Warning. Plasma shockwave imminent. Warning. Seek shelter. Plasma shockwave in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plasma shockwave imminent. Warning. Seek shelter. Plasma shockwave in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, are you here for an appointment? Pardon me. Diagnosing superficial injuries. Nothing a portable medical vehicle can handle. Try to relax. Student 2, don't forget to complete a patient questionnaire. Your feedback will be in step.
Warning. Plasma shockwave imminent. Seek shelter. Plasma shockwave in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're not what they say you are.
Can it hear us? Rejecting the new cell lines, fighting them off like an antivirus.
entire Typhon ecology appears to be centered around the creation of this substance. The original researchers called it coral. Beautiful. But we're not sure what its purpose is. It's never spread outside the containment cylinder. Until now.
Inspecting. Your suit integrity is compromised. Next time, ready to complete. Operator approach.
This is Chief Engineer Illusion. The power plant has been compromised. I repeat, the power plant has been compromised. It's about time, Sam.
Chief, I'm not a comm tech. I'm doing the best I can.
Micah, this is Security Chief Elazar. Can you hear me? Sarah? Yes, I can hear you. Been trying to patch into the PA. My team's in the cargo bay, and those things are in here too. They're crawling all over the station. Check everything around you. Hit it with a wrench.
Check the wrench first.
Sam, he's right. These things, smash every freestanding thing and see if it comes back with you. Get to a secure area, and when you're safe, I'll transcribe. I'm sending you a secure contact, all right? Understood. I left my transcribe in the coolant monitoring station. Heading there now. I can lock myself in. Are you okay? I'm just catching my breath. Sarah, can you tell me what happened? Micah, get safe, then call.